In today's financial markets, which seem to be riddled with turmoil amid the war between Israel and Hamas, many might be considering gold as an investment opportunity. The safe haven investment usually experiences an uptick in demand amid global uncertainty and following the onset of the war between Israel and Hamas, adding to the over 1 year and 7 months of Russia's invasion of Ukraine, gold prices have seen an increase. According to the MCX, gold prices have gained a little over 5% since the war in the Middle East began. Well, joining us now to discuss the hype around gold is Brendan Caldwell, director at Caldwell Securities Limited. Brendan, welcome back to Forum Daily.
Thank you, Nima.
So there is a lot of turmoil in the world right now, Brendan, with the Ukraine, Russia, and Israel and Hamas wars. Now, I've heard that amid global uncertainty like this, gold is a good investment. So what are your thoughts on that?
Gold is gold is something. I mean, historically, one owned gold as a way to preserve wealth. It's still a way that central banks around the world, at least nominally, measure their reserves, but nothing is actually tied to the price of gold except the US dollar. So, relative to the US dollar, gold has done okay. I think you said in the last few weeks it's up 5%, which is more or less what what Bitcoin the swings in a single day. So now relative to the rest of the world, including the loonie, gold has actually been a little stronger because the US dollar has largely taken gold's place as being the safe haven where people want to put their money where nothing can go wrong. So gold and the US dollar are kind of the flip sides of the same, well, for want of a better analogy, the flip sides of the same coin.
And what about inflation? We know gold is said to be a hedge against inflation. Can you tell us a little bit more about this, Brendan?
Well, it's said to be, but I wonder to what extent correlation implies causation. The last time gold, well, when gold first had a big move up from the early 70s to say 1980, give or take, it went from 30 or $50 an ounce to $800 an ounce, 1978 or $79. It was really at the same time when the US dollar was taken off the gold standard, so that gold could, for the first time, really freely float the price of gold up, and relative to the price of gold, the US dollar down. From that day till this, there's been, I'm not saying like equilibrium, because the price of gold went from $800 down to $200, and now it's just shy of 2,000. But it's been bouncing between, say, $1,700 and $2,000 for the last few years now, an ounce. And so nothing really has happened, even as the price of inflation, or the rate of inflation has heated up. So during that inflationary period of the 70s, price of gold went up. They were connected, but not necessarily correlated. And now people are saying, well, if there's going to be inflation, price of gold is going to go up. Maybe, but ain't necessarily so.
All right. Now, if investors were considering investing in gold, instead of buying physical bars of gold, how can you invest in this product throughout the stock market?
Well, I'd heard that if you want to buy bars of gold, I mean, one used to be able to go to the bank, and maybe one still can. I heard Costco was selling gold to members. But for us, when we're looking to buy gold, tend to actually buy companies that manufacture gold, that mine gold, because they tend to have a leveraged effect. If the price of gold, say, were to go up from wherever it is, 1,900 and something dollars an ounce to $2,200 an ounce, you would likely see gold producers have a much bigger move than 10%, because the expectation is their earnings, which are normally speaking leveraged, in some cases highly leveraged to the price of gold, would actually go up by even more. So how we tend to attack it is by owning gold companies rather than the metal itself.
All right, Brendan, just a quick 1 minute left here. But as you mentioned, Costco is offering Canadians bars of gold. What do we know so far about this and the prices around this?
Well, like with anybody that's providing a service that's otherwise awkward or hard to get, there is a commission built in. So I'm not sure what it is, but Costco isn't doing this as simply as a community service, so they do well out of it. Uh, Maybe an ounce of gold is worth giving if you really like your grandkid. Give them that for their birthday. I don't, or Christmas. I don't know if they'll thank you for it right away, but It's one of those things that should last over time. But I wouldn't go putting all one's life savings into gold because it's really hard to get anywhere when you're carrying too much of it in your pockets.
Definitely, Brendan. Always great having you on Forum Daily. Thanks again for joining us today.
Thank you, Nima.